there. Thank you for buying a ring from us at Clifford Studios. I hope you get a lot of use out of it in our Saturday morning equipment classes and potentially in other mat classes that we do during the week online at the moment. Here's a couple of the exercises that I do in my Mat Pilates classes to get you started and get you used to the ring. So the idea of the ring is that it's resistance as well as a closed chain. So when I hold the ring, my arms have to stay in a particular position and I'm using muscles in my arms to hold it in place. It's also fixed, so bands we pull and push, whereas this is fixed, which can make life more difficult when we're trying to exercise or make life easier. So let's get started. And to stretch our legs out, you want to make sure you have enough room behind you to roll back eventually. We're going to squeeze our legs together, lengthening up, reaching our arms forward. Now, I always talk about the heels of the hands when we're talking about the ring, which is basically the end of the hand, the very bottom of the palm. We reach the ring forward and we try and line up the top of the ring with the bridge of our nose. So it's not a mirror, it's just directly in front of our shoulders. We're lifting up tall here and we're just going to breathe, widening our ribs out to the side. As we close the ribs, we're going to apply a little bit of pressure to the ring. You may not even be able to see it on the video. We inhale and widen. Exhale and close. 2 more. Hopefully you can see as I'm inhaling that the ring is not widening, the shoulders are not lifting, it's all in the ribs. Then as we exhale, again, the ribs contract, the ring contracts, and you can really think of the ring as a mirror for your ribs. Exhale. This time we're going to inhale. As we exhale, we're going to squeeze the ring, we're going to roll the pelvis underneath, squeezing the abdominals, and then the body moves as a result of that pelvis coming underneath us. I'm bringing the mat with me. Inhale, diving forward, and restacking. Exhale, tucking the pelvis, little squeeze on the ring. Inhale. And lengthening up. We keep that going. So 3 more. We exhale, roll the pelvis underneath, little squeeze on the ring. So it's really quite tough on the arms. It will be less tough if you bend your elbows, but that's not what we're aiming to do. We dive forward so that we keep the curve of the spine, and then we lengthen up. 2 more. Tucking. Rolling. Last time. And rolling. We're going to hook the ring over the left foot. We're going to hold on to the outside. We're lifting up tall. We're repeating that roll. We breathe in. We exhale. We roll. And because we're connected by our pelvis to our thighs, we lift the leg up. Now, depending on your hamstring length, this angle is going to look different. What angle won't look different is here. We want it to be curved. We don't want it to be in a straight line. You can lengthen your arms out. You can use your biceps. That's not important. What's important now is the underneath leg. We're going to keep the control in our abdominals and we're going to lift the underneath leg. Oh, she says, you see what happened? I pushed forward immediately. I need to lower my leg a little bit. The underneath leg's going to come up to join and lower, scooping the abdominals, lifting and lowering. So it's quite a big exercise straight away. You can bend this leg if you want to. You can bend this leg coming in and out that way. 2 more. And last one. Then we roll down to the floor. Little hamstring stretch. Release. Take the ring overhead. Exhale, push the arms forward, nod the head. Rolling up. Diving forward like we practiced at the start and restacking, hooking over the right foot now, lifting up tall, breathing in, exhale, scooping the abdominals, finding that angle that works for you, and you saw I had to keep playing around with mine. So scooping here, that's where we really want to find the work. We're then going to lift, a little bit more successful on this side, and lifting for 4 more. So the weight of the leg, we don't want it to pull our ribs forward into extension. So it's really an abdominal move. Okay, last one. And we roll down to the mat. Little hamstring stretch. Release the leg, take the ring overhead. Inhale. Exhale, reach the ring over. As it passes the shoulders, follow the journey of that ring as you roll up, scooping everything in, diving forward and re-stacking. I'm going to scoop forward a little bit. I've gone a little bit further down my mat. So I'm going to take the heels of the hands around the ring once again, reaching it out in front. Breathe in. Exhale, roll it back. This time we're going to work on a movement. So we're going to fold the left leg in, thread it through the center of the ring. Fold the left leg in. As it comes back, we take the ring overhead and we try and keep that heel off the floor. So we shoot through the middle of the ring. We come and hover off the floor. 2 more, coming through the middle. All the time the upper body is still, but working really hard to stay still and to allow the leg to do the work. Reaching up, lower the leg finally after 4, roll down in between. So we're getting our roll-ups in between, breathing in. Exhale, reach now. We look at it as if it's a mirror, rolling up. This is a hard move, by the way. If this isn't something you can achieve without using your arms for help, then don't worry about that. Diving forward and restacking. Once again, for the right leg. Breathing in. Exhale, scooping. Folding in that right leg, feeding it through to start. Bending it back in, reaching to the ceiling. So we fold in and out, in and shoot. 2 more. In and through, and in, and hover last time. In, through, in, hover, lowering, rolling down. Whew, that was probably a little bit too fast. Inhaling, exhaling. This time, if you're really practiced, you can try and keep the ring above the head all the way, scooping our abdominals in, shoulders down, jump. Keep reaching up and over. Okay, last move in this little sequence. We bend our knees in, lifting up tall. Reach the arms out, we inhale. We exhale, send the pelvis underneath us, finding the length in the spine. So now we're going to take both legs through the ring. So we come up, shoot through, come up, and we try for that hover, shooting out, little teaser position. In, through the middle, in, and just like we practiced at the start with our first exercise, that lower back is staying rounded. In, and out. Last time. In, and through, and in. Holding here. We're going to open and get our head and heels to find the mat at the same time. Excellent. Those are not easy. Okay, we're going to bend the knees now. Pop the ring in between. So where we were holding it before, we're now going to be using our legs to squeeze the ring. We're going to start with some spine curls. So we keep our arms by our sides, or if you really want to, you can take your arms up. Imagine you have another ring in between your hands. Feet are totally parallel. We keep those hips into their neutral position. If you don't know what that is, we want to make sure that our hips are in the best position to move. So you're laying them down so that your thigh bones can move in the sockets as best they can. They're not blocked with a tuck or blocked with an arch. So we try and get it into a neutral position. Imagine you're laying a block down on the floor. You wouldn't want it tilting. Same with the ribs. Same with the back of the head. From here, we're going to have our feet really strongly planted down into the mat. We inhale. We exhale, tuck the pelvis, squeeze the ring, sending the hips up, opening the shoulders and working those inner thighs. We release the ring on the way down, bone by bone, restacking back to our neutral position. We inhale first. Exhale as you squeeze the ring, your ribs are squeezing together as well. We try and make that ring an oval shape. Then we roll down through the ribs, through the low back, and finally to our hips. 3 more. Always keeping those shoulders open. You get the crease at the waist. Then we open the front of the hips, squeezing, releasing as we roll down. And we have 2 more spine curls. Tucking, rolling, sending the knees forward, rolling down, and opening. Last time, really inner thigh work as well as the abdominal work. Rolling up, sending the knees forward, and rolling back down again. We're going to go up and just do the squeezes. We inhale, exhale, rolling up, holding, and we squeeze. And squeeze, try not to release all the way. Try and keep the pelvis nice and still. Keep the ribs connected. And 5, and 4, and 3, and 2. Double time it now. 4, 10, 9, 8. Totally still. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rolling down and releasing. Just place the ring on top of the shins, hugging in. Just a little bit of relief through the bottom there. We're going to pop the ring back in between the inner thighs, connecting the toes together, taking our arms down by our sides. Now, the idea is that we squeeze the ring again, but we don't have our feet on the floor, so it's that little bit more difficult. Knees stay above the hips, or if they drift in, that's absolutely fine, as long as the bottom doesn't drift with you. From here, we're going to squeeze the ring, stretching the legs out. Maybe the handles touch, and then we come back in again. But you don't necessarily have to get all the way out there. You could just keep the toes connected and squeeze, really still finding a lot of good work in these low abdominals. The most important thing is that that doesn't happen. Wherever you get to, you don't want your hips to be moving with your thighs. You can do that in life, but we want to separate them now to strengthen these low abdominals. Oh, you can hear from the shakiness in my voice. That is not easy. 2 more. Exhaling out. Inhaling back. Exhaling out. Inhaling back. Little break before we add on another layer to that movement. The other layer is optional. It's a curl up. So popping the ring back in. Hands behind the head, interlacing them. Lots of support here. Elbows not wrapping around, not flopping down. They're hovering. We always have them in our peripheral vision. We exhale, we curl up, scooping everything in. We roll back down again. We attempt to get those shoulder blades clear off the mat. Exhaling and inhaling. Back. 3 more. Exhaling up, drawing everything in. Inhaling back down. 2 more. Exhaling up. Inhaling back down. Last one. Exhaling up. Inhaling back. Definitely time for another little pause. Last variation in this movement is adding an oblique twist to our curl up to our leg extension. Remembering you can stop at each level. So if curling up was enough for you, do 6 more curl ups. If just the legs was enough for you, keep going with the legs. So hands behind the head. You can also just do the curling up if you don't want to do the leg action. You could just squeeze rather than squeezing and extending. So we extend out, peeling one shoulder off. I'm peeling my right shoulder off, going towards the left side,
then rolling back down to the mat on my inhale. Exhale. The most important thing is that that lower body remains exactly the same as it has throughout our build-up of this variation. So the hips are not rolling with me. I'm not coming over. I'm keeping the right hip down and then coming back to the center. 3 more. Exhaling. Inhaling. 2 more. Exhaling. Inhaling. Last one. Exhaling. Inhaling. And we're finishing there. Really good, guys. Well, I hope it's really good if you were doing what I was doing. It's tough. Okay, we're going to roll ourselves up and we come to rolling like a ball, which is like a massage for our spine. Or if you do it wrongly, not a very nice massage for our spine. So we're going to try and get this right. We bring the ring and nestle it just underneath the ankle bone in those Achilles tendons. We then bring the other part, the back part, into our thighs. We hold on to the handles, we lift the legs up. So here then we practice what we've been doing all class so far, the tuck of the pelvis. This is probably more natural, feels a little bit more stable, but we want to tuck the pelvis, which factually is more stable because we're engaging our lower abdominals. We're going to tip back, keeping our head off the mat, tip forward, keeping our feet off the mat. So my whole shape doesn't change. And that's where the ring is really helpful, because you've got to keep your heels and your bottoms the same distance apart. What does tend to happen is we get to here, then we can't come up again because we've let that upper abdominal connection go. The other thing is that as you saw me coming up, I try and use my legs to come up. You hear that da-dum. So we really try and keep it controlled, small, and almost silent. So it's a real good abdominal exercise. 2 more. Hopefully we've done 8. You might have done a few more than that. Last one. And lovely, guys. We're going to come to side lying now. So underneath foot pops on top of the ring, traps it in place. Top foot comes on top of the handle also, so that we've got both legs pressing down, pressure is down. We're going to stay onto our elbow directly underneath our shoulder. For this first part, you could come all the way down to the mat as well if you needed that little bit of extra support. So our hips are stacked one on top of the other, our ankles are stacked one on top of the other, each side of our ribs are stacked, we're not hanging back, and our shoulders are too, depending on which position you're in. From here, nice and simple, we're going to lift the top leg and lower it down. Side working, waist working, lifting that top leg, lowering it down. We do that for 6 more. And 5. We have 4. 3. Just 2. And last one, let that top leg rest. You can see when it rests, really squeeze that ring. Now my underneath leg's going to lift and lower, but instead of working the outer thigh, that will work the inner thigh. So we squeeze and lower down. Now I don't want you to just get your toe to touch and keep the underneath knee bent. We're going to try and get the inner thighs together. So if that means the feet don't come together, doesn't matter at all. So we've got 6 more, lifting up, 5, we go 4, and 3, last 2, and last 1. So we're going to repeat that, but we're going to have a little hip lift. So we're going to lift the hips up for 1 and lower down. So this hand here is optional, lifting and lowering. So we could maybe try lifting and lowering. 2 more for me, lifting and lowering. Last one, lift, definitely bring the hand down. We lift this leg for 4, only half this time. 3, 2, and 1, lowering down. Nice job, guys. We're going to turn around onto our tummies, popping the ring in between our ankles. So you might want to do that like I am before you roll over, or you can reach back and do it
once you're there. So from here, we flex our feet. We imagine that we've got glasses of water balanced on the soles of our feet. We're going to be pressing them up to the ceiling. We're not going to be doing anything funky with our feet to cause those glasses of water to fall. We lie down, making a pillow with our hands. Forehead comes down. I'm just going to turn this way so my voice doesn't get lost down to the ground. We connect the abdominals so that we could maybe reach one finger underneath without it being trapped with that relaxation. So we want to be keeping the abdominals connected. Then from here, we're going to be using the whole of our glutes, of our hamstrings, of our quads to try and push those glasses of water up to the ceiling. You can see that even with all that effort, they don't go very far. If I just switched off my abdominals, I could go a lot higher. Maybe you saw my elbows, my shoulders moving too. We're trying to keep everything still, gather the abdominals and lift. Keeping things still doesn't mean that they're turned off, quite the opposite. So we squeeze and lower down. We're squeezing, lowering. 3 more, lowering. Last 2 and last 1, and we reach around, grabbing that ring, bringing it in front of us. I'm going to scoot back just to make sure you can see what's happening. From here, I'm going to stack the handles one on top of the other, placing my hands next to each other on those handles. Head comes down. Already you might feel a nice chest stretch, shoulder opening. From here we breathe in. We exhale, reach the toes away, gather the ribs, lift the head and try and press that ring down. The head now becomes higher than the arms. Really important that we don't just look here. So we don't need to add that extension of the neck. We release and bring the forehead down. Inhale. Exhale, squeezing the abdominals, pressing down, lifting, shoulders are away from our ears. And we release, forehead comes down. Exhale, press, gather, and lift, shoulders away from our ears. We lower and release. One more, pressing down, working through that extension, and lowering. Back down. Good, we bring the ring down, we bring our hands underneath our shoulders, sit back through our child's pose position and swing our legs around, ready to do those leg exercises on the other side. So, trapping, pressing, and either choosing to lie all the way down or staying up on your shoulder. So, from here, we're going to be lifting up. We're going to just do that top leg first. So lifting up and lowering down for 7 and 6. Connect the abdominals. 5. We have 4 more and 3 more. Last 2 and last 1. Heavy leg. Inner thigh on that underneath leg. Squeezes 8. Try and keep those hips from rocking backwards. 7, 6, and 5. We have 4 more and 3 more. Last 2 and last 1. Ready for those hip lifts? I'm not sure that I am. So we're lifting up. Whew. Maybe the hand can come underneath. Ooh, 4 more and 3 more. Last 2. Oh. Last 1, hold, and we're lifting up for 4. This is tough. 3. Last 2 and last 1. Oh, I don't think that last one really counted, but I did. Last exercise for me. This is one of my favorite uses of the ring to train really good press up technique. So we bring the handle just in the center of our ribs. We come to our 4-point kneeling position, spreading the fingers, shoulders
over wrists, knees underneath hips. So you can see we're literally sort of laying right on top of it. There's no pressure down onto it, we're just hovering for now. We step one leg back, tucking the toes, switching on that leg. We take the other leg back, same thing. Again, we're still just hovering over the top. From here, working the tricep pressure, press up. We bend the elbows, the ring squeezes, and we lengthen back up again. You can do that with the knees down, absolutely fine, but the ring is providing some support. So we do 3 more, just letting ourselves trust the ring, and back up. 2 more for me, guys. Last bit for this little class. 2, and up. Last one. Squeezing, and up we come. Drop those knees down. Reach the ring out. Stretching out for me. So that is just such a small amount of exercises you can do with the ring, scratching the surface. Obviously we do lots more in our classes. Saturday morning 8 o'clock equipment classes at the moment whilst everything's online. When we go back to the studio in September, we'll be encouraging people to bring props where they can, so you can bring your own ring for any classes. Thank you.